Hi, welcome to Ekate's Crossing as we continue our journey of the heart, the path of conscious love by John Welwood. Okay, we're up to the Mandala of Marriage. Okay, so we're up to part 3, I think, Sacred Order. Okay, so before we read Sacred Order, let's do a reading first. I'm going to use the Romantic Tarot with the Power of Love. So let's have a look. So what's the message that we need to reflect on as we listen to this chapter here? It's just me being clumsy. Okay, so let's have a look. What message? Oh, okay. Interesting. So we start the reading with the Wheel of Fortune, the Star and Knight of Wands. So we're talking about a sense of passion, making sure, I do feel like there's a sense of passion, creativity in this journey. I do feel like we're galloping. It's interesting, I haven't had this sort of thought before, but I do feel like we're galloping. And we're looking at the star shining in regards to the relationship. And I feel like we're galloping ahead. We're rushing ahead within this relationship, trying to find this light out of all the darkness. I feel like we're galloping, we're rushing, we're trying to get things done. And I think I get a sense of, hey, wait a minute, just take a breath. I feel like you need to sort of slow down a little bit. You're galloping, you're trying to rush to find this light within this relationship. You need to slow down, take a breath for a second, and find the light not only within our relationships but within ourselves as well. I do feel like there's a lot of burden, a lot of, I want to say restrictions or challenges in regards to this relationship. I do feel like we're on the outside. I want to say we're on the outside looking in. And I get that with this guy here. I feel like we're on the outside and we're looking in to the relationship on some level. I feel like we sort of feel a little disconnected in a way. And that's because of the heaviness with the relationship, the burdens within the relationship here. And so, okay, with the Eight of Cups. Now, for me, when I get Eight of Cups, I think about walking away from something. So I feel like they're walking away from a great event and they're walking together. And I feel like there's could be a third person involved in this relationship on some level. Now, I'm not talking about them, it's not about having an affair or anything like that. I'm not getting that. But I do feel like there could be a third person that's sort of saying, you need to walk away from the relationship in some way. Come with me. I'm going to allow, I'm going to lead you, or I'm going to push you in a different direction emotionally. So just be careful of that in some way. It's interesting because then I get Eight of Swords and I get the sense of being restricted in some way. So I do feel like there's a third person that is challenging to the relationship on some level, and that can be a bit of a problem. So I do feel like this is something that you have to look at for yourself. And I feel like, to be able to push through those challenges, I think it becomes to the two of you. It's between you, and I feel like you're galloping to try and find the light because of an outside influence that's sort of weighing you down. So I feel it's about restrictions, about creating a sense of boundaries and knowing that you can walk your own light, walk your own path, to create the new, to give birth to the new project, to give birth to the possibilities of what lie ahead within the relationship. Nourish the relationship, nourish the yourself, not by outside influences, but what lies within you. Super important here. It's not about what other people think. It's about what's important to you two together. It's not about anyone else in this relationship. It really is about the two of you within the marriage. Whatever that is for you. Okay, super important. So I do get a sense of being very careful about being restricted. I keep getting this sense of being caged or being restricted by someone else. Okay, I do feel like there's a third person sort of on the out, I don't know whether you're on the outside or a third person is on the outside looking in on the relationship. I do feel like there's a need to be very, very careful there. I do feel like you could be influenced by others, which you need to be influenced only by yourself and your partner in this relationship, in the choices that you make to find the light. Slow down, take a breath. I do feel like I keep getting this gallop, like a horse is galloping, is what I keep getting. Okay, so I actually got 2 cards in this one here. And the first one is about finding your joy. Okay, you delight in the love of life and bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. So you've got to find your joy. Okay, and in finding your joy, you've got to find your peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. So I think in this relationship, it's about finding your own true light as well as the light within the relationship. And it only comes when you take a moment to breathe and find your joy, find your peacefulness, not to be influenced by other people's thoughts, but influenced by yourself, your own thoughts, and what's important to you in regards to this relationship. Okay, doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks about this relationship. It's what's important to you is how you're treated within the relationship. Okay, so it really is about finding that light within yourself and finding the light within the relationship, the true light. Okay, the true light of the relationship is what I get here with the Star card. The true light. And I do be careful about rushing into things. Slow down, take a moment to breathe. Okay, so now that we've looked at that, let's continue with this chapter. So we're up to the marriage as Mandala and sacred order. So far, we have seen that the formal commitment to marriage creates a boundary and a container that helps 2 people work and play with energies arising between them. Yet, something more is needed to create a mandala, a central governing principle. What is the central principle in the marriage mandala that can help make the chaos contained within it workable? In the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, the focal point of a mandala is always enlightened wisdom, symbolized by the deity at the center, surrounded by all the elements of the universe. This suggests that if 2 people are to make good use of the chaos arising between them and not become overwhelmed by it, they must accord wisdom and truth a central place in their relationship. Then the natural order of things can unfold, for a sacred order has been established. The original term for sacred order is hierarchy, from the Greek hieros, sacred, and arche, order. When most of us hear the terms hierarchy, we think of a vertical peaking order with a big boss at the top. Such a structure represents a debased form of hierarchy, however, because wisdom is not the organizing principle. For instance, in the patriarchal family, the wife and children are to submit to the decisions of the father or grandfather who was in charge, whether he was wise or foolish, right or wrong. For obvious reasons, that kind of domination hierarchy has been tremendously destructive and no longer works. To establish sacred order in today's egalitarian marriages, we need a more flexible kind of arrangement, one that encourages both partners to realize their larger potential. For this, we could draw on the pattern found in all life forms, where more involved structures, such as bodily organs, govern and integrate the functions of simpler structures, such as cells, thus promoting a higher level of overall functioning. This kind of actualization hierarchy is what we find in a mandala, which, like a cell, contains a strong center around which peripheral elements organize themselves. How might this kind of life-affirming hierarchy work in a marriage? First, a couple would recognize some form of wisdom or wakefulness as a central principle governing their union. Second, they would acknowledge that neither of them has exclusive access to the larger sanctity, Instead, each of them has different areas where they are strong or weak, clear or confused, insightful or blind. Third, recognizing and respecting each other's natural strengths. They would be willing to let the partner who has greater wisdom or clarity in a given area take the lead. For instance, if a woman has greater emotional flexibility than her man, then he would recognize her as his teacher in this area. He would let himself learn from her wisdom instead of trying to force her to go along with his emotional rigidity. This is what it means to recognize her or his consort, someone who is in his life to help him grow. In this way, by recognizing, respecting, and learning from each other's natural strengths, two partners establish sacred order in their marriage. When men and women, or partners, when partners do not honor and respect each other's innate wisdom and strength, they disrupt natural hierarchy in their relations. For instance, someone who does not express appreciation for his partner's feminine qualities, who scorns the way she's not like them, who uses their yang power to dominate and criticize her, undermines the woman in her, thus destroying any possibility of a creating alliance between them. Or if a partner tries to cut down her partner's male power, she is undermining his yang and diminishing the real juice in their connection. When natural hierarchy is destroyed, the resulting disharmony will adversely affect every member of the family. Okay, that's it for today. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care, and blessed be.